to 11 goals 6. Leading goal scorers, Kernahan has 4, Siri, Hannah and Ratton each 3, and for Fitzroy, O'Connell has 3 goals. A reminder that we'll be going to Davis Cup action in Perth at the completion of the football. And sport coming up on the 7 Network, the Australian Touring Car Championship, the first round at Sandown on Sunday, February the 24th. Check your local guides for details of coverage. So plenty happening here on the 7 Network, and it's great that the football started. And this is looking like a pretty easy Carlton win, but gee, we've seen some top football here for so early in the season, Pete.
Well, very difficult conditions, as we said. We have a look at the third quarter stats, and it should be Carlton's way. And as you can see in the kicks, it is 48 to 39. Well, Fitzroy, well, they're a handballing side. They're a short game side normally, and they expect them to do well there. But look at the marking. That's mainly because they controlled the ball, Carlton. It's not all high marks. There's a lot of good short passes. Well, free kicks pretty even. Tackles, well, much the same. Good effort, the tackling. Both sides under the heat. Hit outs 13 to Carlton and 10 to Fitzroy. But centre breaks, well, that's evened up a little bit. Early in the game, Carlton were absolutely dominating out of the centre. But at least Fitzroy have done well there. But they're failing up forward, Fitzroy. Carlton defence well on top.
Well, at one stage early in that third quarter, Fitzroy got within about 14 points, and Carlton finished up leading by 47 at the break.
Well, I think that makes it all the more impressive by the Carlton side. A couple of times I've thought Fitzroy were going to get back into it, and under the heat conditions, the ball on the ground a lot, that I thought that they might run out a little bit better than Carlton, but almost to come. They're a very, very disciplined side today, and I like the way Parkin has used his rucks. He's used Satori, and there's Robert Shaw, and he'd be scratching his head at the moment, wondering what to do. He's got a big task to get Fitzroy up the ladder. There's David Parkin. He's been through the mill many a time. A very experienced coach and a very good coach, but he's used those rucks very, very well. He's used Silvani well and all those medium-sized players. And, well, if this is any indication, they've got some great players to come back in too. Of course, Craig Bradley. And Carlton look like having a very good year.
Next. Time.
I didn't realise Collingwood won the flag, Drew.
Actually, yeah, I must admit I haven't seen anybody in a black and white scarf for at least the last day.
Well, the umpire about to bounce to start the final quarter. Let's hope Fitzroy can really fly home and make a game of it, because they've been outplayed by Carlton today. Well, here's their chance. Alistair Lynch taps it on to Cormac. Cormac, a long kick to the full forward line, but that's a too easy a mark in defence by Meldrum. Not enough pressure put on by those Fitzroy forwards.
Out of defence to Alvin. Sweeping hand pass wide, Verbeek. Centre wing. Good mark, Blakey over the top. Kick by John Blakey. Well, that had an ugly looking wobble on it. Osborne charging at it. Lost control of it. Verbeek to Alvin. Blind hand pass to Cavidan. His hand pass misses. Bounces for Herman, who taps backwards. Might have lost it. Bit scrappy to start the last quarter. Holding the ball, the Carlton man. Fitzroy's free kick to be taken by Delina. Carl Delina, inside centre half forward. Looking for Lynch. A bit static down there, Alistair Lynch, but he gets a free kick. There was a push out. And a Fitzroy player hurt in the chop up there.
Well, actually, Ian Aiken ran straight back at Alistair Lynch. I think that's why the free kick was paid in that pack and pushed him out of the way. It's Claby.
So Claby walks up and will take the free kick. Lynch was lining up. Now, man on the mark is about 35 metres out. Claby has played at both ends. Done some good things today. Shoots for goal. He'll need to come back. It does for a goal. That's his first score. And I suppose Fitzroy, if they were to storm home, could still win it. The ground's in beautiful condition.
Well, that's a nice kick by Brenton Claby, and he's been pretty impressive in his first game for Fitzroy. Tough. Gets in and after the ball, and when he gets the tempo of AFL football, he'll be a very good player. Well, back to the centre. O'Connell has worked pretty tirelessly. He's beaten for that one by Cavidan. Onto a Siri, who's been very impressive. McKinnon further afield to his Carlton teammate and Sexton. And it's shepherded through for a goal. Great play.
This is truly a wonderful moment as we see, for the first time, the dress. She looks so beautiful. Yards and yards of ivory pure silk taffeta. Tiny satin slippers. And, of course, the Spencer family tiara. And there she goes, up the steps.
Would the greatest event in the world be quite as great on anything less than Fujifilm? Fuji, the film of your life.
Number 53 here, Cavidan, captain of the under-19s last year. And looks as though he might find himself a slot. Here's Arsiri. High ball, might be out on the full. Phillips charges at it. Oh, and wind at 1,000 miles an hour, hit the fence.
Well, he's hurt his hand too, as did Struber. But as I said, that boundary line very, very close to the fence.
Phew. Yeah. You don't like to see that. The umpire calls for this, and we'll have a ball up. Well, he'd already had an arm guard on. Looked like sort of, I don't know, Jeff Boycott or one of the batsmen have been wearing in the cricket. Might need another one after that one. Helbert not in possession, Herman, and will take the free kick from centre wing. Carlton have kicked 20 goals. Fitzroy have kicked 12. One each in the last quarter. McKinnon threads out the hand pass. Arsiri taken high. And poor old Osborne, acting captain today, he'll want to forget it.
Well, Marcus Siri gives it on to David Kernahan up in the air. Oh, look at the big fly over the back. Daryn, it's a brilliant mark. I thought Steve Kernahan was going to take it, but what a great mark. Look at the replay. Kernahan in front, Dorotich. That's the second top mark of the day he's taken.
What a luxury for Carlton. They've got Silvani and Sartori on the bench at the moment.
Well, I really think this is his best position, full forward. I said that earlier. Dorotich, he's kicked two. He kicks straight through that one. The goal umpire doesn't move. That's his third. Well, he's been a disappointing player the last couple of years, John Dorotich. So if they can get a good year out of him, it'll be a real bonus. 21-5 Carlton to 12-6 Fitzroy. Look at this again. As he comes from behind, leaps over the top of Ruse. Poor old Paul Ruse had no chance there. And there's a shot of the goal. Beautiful kick. He's a good kick of a football, Dorotich.
Pretty big score now by Carlton. Oh, Cavidan, a beautiful palm down to Arsiri. Kernahan lost sight of that with Ruse. Ruse caught in a good tackle, gave the hand pass straight away to Glascott, and Kernahan steps and goal. Number 5 for Steve Kernahan.
Well, I think, Drew, they've moved on to 22-5, and I know this is the first game of the year as we look in replay, but there are some terrific signs there today for Carlton as we see Kernahan battling away with Ruse. The pressure was put on by Hannah. Unselfish play by Glascott, and then Kernahan steadies for his fifth goal of the game. But a lot of people have just dismissed Carlton as a chance for the 6th this year. Well, I think they'll be having second thoughts looking at this display today.
I think so.
Cavidan against O'Connell. Down it goes to Delina. On to Osborne. Richard Osborne. Great effort to come back from that knee injury, actually. Lovely pass. Finds Lynch now. They need some movement here. It's very crowded up there. Alistair Lynch goes to the torpedo part. This might float. Oh, brilliant mark by Meldrum right on the line. What a great mark. He backed him, so most people would have thumped that through for a behind.
Verbeek. And now Carlton working it out of defence through Phillips. Sexton underneath it. Blakey takes the mark. John Blakey wheels around and thumps it back towards full forward. Verbeek ducks the high tackle and will take the free. Bit happening off the ball. Meldrum beats the tackle by Osborne. The kick back towards centre wing. Blakey back there again. Had a good game. Lots of spectacular runs from John Blakey today. Nobody to kick to on the forward line. Fitzroy's forward line, now that Osborne's playing up the ground. Rendell's off the ground. There's absolutely nobody there. Here's David Kernahan. Turned back into trouble. Oh, beautiful palm off by Meldrum.
Oh, brilliant play by Meldrum. He is certainly capable of that hand pass. Comes to Delino. That was from Broderick. And eventually the ball forced out of bounds. But Carlton have been absolutely desperate today, and tackling has been hard. Here's Cavidan to do the ruck work for Carlton. Taps it down. Verbeek up high, and waiting underneath it is Carl Delina. A lot of small players, Fitzroy, to do with a bit more height and bulk. And Delina might almost make the distance from here. No, he's going with the short one. Oh, one man. He had 4 Carlton players to beat then Osborne, so there wasn't a lot of chance he was going to end up with the ball. Here's Sexton. The lead is on. Oh, free kick to Hannah. That was it. The umpire had actually paid it before he took them up. Hannah. He's one out down there is Dorotic. Now he's leading wide. Dorotic, can he get there? Out he comes. Yes, that is beautiful football. That great lead, great pass. And what's the difference in the forward lines, Drew, is unbelievable. The amount of space the Carlton players are getting, as you saw that mark in replay.
Well, Carlton's edge in marking is not just the short chip passes. No. It's high marking
and
as well.
High as well. He's kicked 3, John Dorotic. Kick from the 40-metre line, and that's a shocker. And in fact, he's put it out of bounds on the full, and the goal umpire goes down. The crowd love it. Can't see it. Just behind, off camera there. Umpire tripped over it. They're sadistic football crowds, aren't they?
Yeah. As soon as you don the white, you're an open go, aren't you?
You're the enemy.
For the crowd, yeah. Kernahan at the back, Cavidan in front. Umpire is going to pay Cavidan. Across to centre half forward, too high for Sexton, and a clever mark by Baldwin coming in at the back. Fitzroy better be careful that Carlton don't give them a real walloping here. Gale, still got 13 minutes to go, and if Carlton finish like they started, this could be a thrashing. Just about bounced off the head of Dean. Comes to McKinnon. Alvin. Hand pass intercepted by Cormack. Short pass, Dundas. Trouble looming. Gets it away across to O'Connell. He's kicked 3. This one coming back. Not enough. 3 goals, 1 to David O'Connell.
Told you he couldn't kick straight through.
Oh, you waited a long time to be right.
3 quarters, would you believe? Now, here's David Glascott. They're really trying to develop a running game, Carlton. You can see that in their tactics. That's Aiken. David Kernahan has played a good, solid game. Here's Matthew Dundas. Puts it on the ground. He's got backup support from Mark Bunn. And the umpire's found a free kick, and will go the way of Matthew Dundas. (22-5) Carlton. Brilliant kicking. Fitzroy 12-7, and I'll tell you what, this crowd is pretty vocal. Oh, great mark, Cavidan.
He can play, can't he?
Yes, well, they need some good young players coming up, Carlton. He might be one of them. Andrew Cavidan to centre wing. O'Connell ran back into the pack. Phillips, busy player towards half forward. Carlton. Herman, very skillful player in Herman, taps it ahead of him. Strooper back after it. Blakey trying to shepherd, but Hannah ends up with the ball. That was good play, Hannah. On to Sexton. Sexton fires a goal and has missed. Good player again by the Blues.
Well, Carlton finished 8th last year. They missed the finals the last 2 years. prompted David Parkin's recall. Fitzroy 12th. We ran through a market for the season earlier on, and they're on the same line of betting. Maybe the figures will change after today. Carlton looking pretty impressive. Here's Richard Osborne. Well, that's great for a man who's come back after a knee reconstruction, and his kick just offline, just misses to the right. Injured late in 1989, came back for the last 7 games last year, Richard Osborne, which was a real performance in itself. So at least he's not starting from scratch this year. He's got those under his belt.
And I feel sorry for any player who has had a serious knee operation. Even to come back, the psychological aspect is just enormous. There's O'Connell flying at the back, couldn't take it. Bunn cleverly to half-wide. Meldrum sets himself. I went the punch that time, nearly ended up with the mark. Umpire calls play on. Peter Dean. Oh, lovely hand pass. Glasgow draws the player, then finds McKinnon. McKinnon to Gleeson. He spent a bit of time on the bench. Now wide goes Gleeson. He's looking for David Kernahan against Gale. Kernahan grabs it and he'll kick long. He's looking for Hannah and also Dorotic. Hannah, great mark. Well, they've got some forwards, haven't they? Drew, they've got Hannah. They've got Dorotic. They've got Kernahan and maybe Silvani as we look in replay. Good, strong mark by Millen Hannah. Well, he's kicked 3, and he should kick his 4th. He is 25 metres out. He stabs at that, and I think it's another one. Yes, it is.
Free wheel. Free fall.
Introducing a mayonnaise called Kraft Free. It's cholesterol-free and 87% fat-free, yet full of the delicious flavour you love.
Free expression.
Tastes really great.
What's on this? Kraft Free.
Kraft Free mayonnaise. Feel free to love the taste.
Margin is 64 points and still over 10 minutes remaining. Out of the middle, Gleeson actually wins that tap. McKinnon, his tap goes to Bunn, and Bassett takes the mark for Carlton. Kernahan offering something at half forward. The kick by Bassett wobbles in that direction. Poor old kick. Holding the ball against Kernahan.
Oh.
I'm not sure that he actually... Oh, well. We've had a couple of those today. Free kick to Roos, a bit of a charity. Struggled a bit, Paul Roos, after he's interrupted pre-season. This is tapped out to Dundas. Keeps the pass low. Taylor couldn't take the mark. Dean put him under pressure. David Kernahan, he might be holding the ball in a minute. Gets pushed in the back and gets the free kick.
I'll tell you what, they haven't got a bad backline, Carlton, particularly when Silvani's down there as well. You've got Kernahan, who's a very rugged, close-checking player. Peter Dean's a class player. Meldrum's a top player. Babeek's doing well in defence. So, you know, Alvin, he's a good, honest player too. So the backline's not too bad, Carlton's.
Good, honest player. Regularly plays for Victoria.
Yes, I know, but well, it's an understatement, I suppose. There's the mark taken by Dorotic, and he's let out well at full forward. He should make the distance. Well, he will make the distance from there. He's only kicking from 45. I think a few of the Fitzroy players dropped their bundle a little bit. Dorotic kicks, and John Dorotic kicks his 4th. Well, Carlton steamrolling Fitzroy now. They've moved on to 24 goals 6 to Fitzroy 12-8.
And well, Dorotic, it might be his spot. And Peter McKenna knows a bit about full forwards and how to kick goals. He nominates Dorotic to be a full forward. That's a beautiful action.
Yes, I really think that's his best position. I said that earlier in the game. And, well, he reads the ball well, and he's a good kick. He's kicked 4. Kernahan's kicked 5. Hannah's kicked 4. A series kicked 3. They've had multiple goal kickers. And, well, they hardly had a weak link all day, Carlton. Very, very impressive. Here's Paul Broderick. To Cormac. Now, there's no one there. Alistair Lynch goes back. He's got Aiken to beat. Who'll win out? Lynch. Couldn't take it. Dean, the swooper. Oh, look at that defence. That is beautiful defensive play by Carlton. Kernahan comes away, and he's a lovely kick. He's looking for his brother Stephen. Trying to punch it away was Roos. This is David Donato, the youngster. the draft choice for Fitzroy. Ruse receives from Strooper. On to Carlton. Galena to half forward. Jason Taylor's got 2 to beat. And a brilliant mark taken by Cavidan. And he's got a bit of fire in the belly too.
He has. Andrew Cavidan, a 19-year-old from Princes Hill. Up towards half forward. Steve Kernahan at the back. Great hands by Herman. Hardly had time to see that one. O'Connell takes a defensive mark. Off to Bunn. It'd be hot today, but I don't know whether he's crossed. Bunn. Alvin, ground level. McKinnon up in the air. Oh, it's all Carlton, just the weight of numbers. Comes out here to Phillips. Long left-footed to full forward. Dorotich and Hannah. And Sexton on his own. Clean bowled, but has time to recover. Bassett on his own. Beats one, should goal. 40 metres out, left foot, steered straight through.
For Sorbent. It's Australia's favourite way to get the day underway. Thicker, softer, Sorbent.
The days you love playing on the forward line, and Dorotich had been enjoying this down there, the way it's been belted down. It was Cavidan trying to get his boot. The ball, a quick hand pass, comes out to Aiken. Oh, cleverly done, Ian Aiken, out of the corner of the eye. He sees Glascott. Glascott slams another one through to the Blues. Brilliant play, Carlton, and they're going back to congratulate the players up at the centre. 26-6, Carlton. Fitzroy 12-8. And Aiken, a clever little kick that was. As we look again, look, Cavidan tapped down. Cavidan again, hurry kick, tap to Phillips. On it goes to Aiken. Look at that. Quick little kick with the left. And an easy goal coming up to Glascott.
Andrew Phillips has had an outstanding second half.
He's going to be a good player this year, Phillips.
Best and fairest the last 2 years in the reserves, Phillips. Won the premiership last year. McKinnon off the ground. Gleeson off the ground. Whoops, clean ball. No, he's had a poor day, Stevens. Hannah keeps it in for Dorotich. A mark to Dorotich. Barely went 10 metres. It was so clever by Hannah. You'd have to pay it even if it was 9.5.
Fantastic play by Hannah. Terrific skill. And, I mean, a lot of players would have let this go. I don't know about the required distance there, Drew.
Well, the Lions could finish up being beaten by a ton, which is a bit of a shame because for most of it hasn't looked like that. Dorotich has kicked 4. Going for number 5. Well, they're all helping themselves.
How good are the 30th anniversary Ford Falcons? We asked the Europeans.
This car has the safety features that we like in Sweden. All the wheels have the disc brakes. The power steering is not too light, and yeah, I think it's much more handsome than my Volvo.
I think Australia's done a splendid job with this car. It's extremely comfortable, very enjoyable to drive. Have you tried the latest Falcon yet?
Have you driven a Ford lately?
Well, if I was Robert Shaw, I'd be very, very disappointed with this final quarter by Fitzroy. Carlton running all over them. Here's Hannah against Baldwin. Not Hannah, Albin, I should have said. Bit of a difference in here.
There, yeah.
Centre wing.
I tell you what, though, neither of them go to a hairdresser.
No. Well, I think I'll go out and get some money on Carlton for the 6 after watching this performance. Boy, they've been impressive. Here's the ball at half forward with Kernahan. Back it comes. We've got Alvin and McKinnon. McKinnon from 50 metres sets it up. Dorotich at the back was grabbed. And eventually the ball is forced through for a behind. And I think Dorotich kicked the ball away in disgust. He was grabbed by the arm as he went for that mark. Look at that. Kicking 27-7 to 12-8. And a bit of a breeze blowing here today, so across the ground, so great kicking.
It has actually moderated, as the forecast said it would, not as strong as it was at the start of the game. Alvin charges at this one. There's Cavidan, little outside of the foot job. Away to Alvin. Alvin steers the pass low to Dorotic. Brett Stevens just has not got near it today.
Yeah, well, he's not getting much help further afield. I think a few of those Fitzroy players are going through the motions and not putting the pressure on. Great pass by Alvin. And Dorotic always playing in front. That's what I like about his game at full forward.
Well, this is for number 4 for the quarter, 6 for the game. Slightly across the face. And through for a behind. So his tally is 5 goals, 2.
Well, this hit out will help Paul Roos, because he hasn't done all the pre-season training the other guys have done. But Fitzroy, of course, they're missing some great players too. They're terribly unlucky to lose Gary Pert, Matthew Armstrong, Daryn Kapler. I mean, those 3 players a walk-up start into their side, of course. There's a quick kick by McKinnon. No, it wasn't. It was Gleeson towards half forward. Ratton. Oh, Glascott ducks into it, then gets on a hand pass to Dorotic. Dorotic a low trajectory kick, and the mark is taken by Blakey.
Blakey sweeps the hand pass to Roos. Just gets it away to Strooper. Well taken out of it by Gleeson. Oh, top play by Gleeson. Finishes up with Herman, and he pops for goal but misses badly. Wind, good to see him back, that his arm wasn't hurt when he crashed into the fence. And that ball goes out of bounds. Another chance for the Blues here. Down to Rhett. Through for a behind. Brett Ratton's kicked 3-1. We'll see a lot more of that youngster.
Yes, he's done a couple of nice things that show he's got great skill. Blakey nearly been Fitzroy's best player, I'd suggest. He's battled his heart out all day. There's Joe Cormack waiting at the back, taking the mark. On it goes to Strooper. Strooper long. David O'Connell in front. They've fallen down badly up forward today. The Carlton defence has been rock solid, and they've been able to get numbers back on that back line, whereas when it goes down the other end, the Carlton forwards have been able to get one out with their opponent, which makes it a lot easier for a forward to work that way.
Well, Gleeson buried in a good tackle. But as a promotion of football, I think today has been excellent. The crowd's obviously supported football in summery conditions. They've come along in big numbers. Something over 10,000, the crowd. And even though Fitzroy is playing its home game here, a lot of the crowd would be Carlton supporters. The Blues have fans all over Australia. And the exhibition of football turned on here today has been superb. Kicked by Dean up towards centre wing. Comes off hands to Taylor. Play on the advantage. Wide to Delina. Another man hits the fence. This time, actually, Dean could have crunched him right over the fence.
I was just thinking the same thing, and I think that was very good by Peter Dean not to crunch him into the fence at this stage of the game.
Throw in at half forward for Fitzroy. Cavidan again, down to Gleeson. Free kick was going to be paid. Advantage now. Gleeson puts the ball out in front of David Kernahan up from defence. He's near the centre circle. David to half forward, all Fitzroy back there. The mark taken by Strooper.
I was just thinking when I said that about putting someone in the fence, our mate Don Scott would have said that's exactly what he should have done. Well, this is Delina to half forward. Glascott, Aiken. Kernahan, oh, look at that mark. Oh, brilliant play, Stephen Kernahan. Now he's looking for Phillips. Oh, Phillips got his body in the right position, still battling hard. Now, is that holding the ball? Yes, the umpires have been red hot on that today. You must, when you not lie on the ball, you've got to make an attempt to get it out. And at least they've been consistent. And Steve Kernahan from 50 metres kicks it long and high. At the back is Hannah, waits. Ball doesn't come his way. Blakey heading to the line and puts it over.
Just on a minute remaining here at North Hobart Oval. And the margin is 91 points in favour of Carlton, who've amassed 27 goals from many avenues to goal. Kernahan's kicked 5. Dorotich has kicked 5. Fitzroy out of defence up towards centre wing. Bit of a wrestle there. David Kernahan works at the front. Alvin loses it. Cormac. Alvin tackles. Cormac didn't quite have it. Free kick Fitzroy's way. Joe Cormac, former West Coast Eagle. Not a bad pass. Dundas streams down the ground at it. Didn't have the height. Aitken backed into it. And comes away in defence to Meldrum. Very high kick towards the centre of the ground. Oh, lands in Ratton's hands. A beautiful little hand pass to Gleeson. One more for Carlton. Gleeson to Dorotich, but in front Stevens. Dorotich fights hard. Still after it. Phillips is there. Loses control of it. Blakey comes out. Just 8 seconds remaining. Blakey towards the centre of the ground. Mark's taken here by Taylor. Young Jason Taylor. Gets the ball off to Delina. Last chance for Fitzroy. Siren goes right as the mark is taken by O'Connell. And O'Connell will have time to kick for goal. He took the mark with a second to spare. Well, O'Connell, in his debut for Fitzroy, has finished up with 4 goals. The last one certainly a bit of a consolation. But a big win here to Carlton, who have won 27 goals 9, 171 to Fitzroy 13-8, 86. The leading goal kickers, Kernahan kicked 5, Dorotich kicked 5, Hannah 4, Siri 3 and Ratton 3. And for Fitzroy, David O'Connell, the former Eagle, kicked 4 goals. Disappointment for Fitzroy, no doubt, playing a home game. They'll play 2 for premiership points down here later in the season. But Carlton have plenty of fans, and they certainly turned it on here in bright, hot conditions. So let's have a look at the Foster's Cup. We've played 1 match, and it's Carlton to go on to meet Essendon in the second round. That's not a bad draw. Carlton and Essendon in round 2. And the other matches in this half of the draw, next Wednesday, Footscray play Hawthorn at Waverley, 8:30 Eastern Summer Time. And next Sunday, it's Brisbane Bears against Collingwood at the Gabba in Brisbane at 12 noon. Keep your eye on the local guides for details of those telecasts. Davis Cup tennis coming up in Perth. We hope you've enjoyed the early start to football from North Hobart Oval.
This has been a 7 Sport production.